Hello everyone, it's Leo, and in this video we are going to check out new episode titles and episode summaries for Tropical-Rouge Precure. I'm a little late to this, I'm sorry, but we're going to talk about lots of interesting things that are going to happen in this amazing season that is being Tropical-Rouge. First of all, I just want to say that this video is obviously going to contain spoilers for the next few episodes for Tropical-Rouge. We're going to check out the episode titles from episodes 12 to 15 and also summaries from 12 to 14. So if you don't like spoilers, this video is not for you, but if you don't care about those things, stay with us and we will learn a little bit about some interesting things that are going to happen in Tropical-Rouge. First of all, Hibiki, thank you so much for translating the titles and the summaries for us Precure fans. We are very thankful. You are a true bless to the Precure community. And now let's start. Let's start talking about episode 12, which we already saw the preview in episode 11. And episode 12 is going to be called Confiscated. The Aquapot breaks the school rules. One interesting thing about this set of episodes is that it seems, at least, that they're going to be very focused on Laura in one way or another. So it seems that Laura will receive a lot of attention and a lot of character development, maybe. So I'm sensing something here. Are you sensing the same as I am? Anyways, in episode 12, we're going to see the head of the Student Discipline Committee, who is called Masami Tsunoda, and she is gonna come to the club room, the Tropical Club room. And when she gets there, she is investigating a rumor that a mermaid is appearing in the school. I mean, well, it makes a lot of sense since Laura doesn't really like to be a secret, right? So they are checking every club in the school to see if they can find this mermaid, if this rumor is true. And Asuka gets angry at this and she, talks back. She confronts the committee about inspecting the room, which leads the committee to believing that the girls are actually hiding something. And we saw that in the preview, they're gonna find the Aquapot. Someone is gonna see Laura. Oh my God, it's gonna be a mess. And I think this is gonna be a comedic, interesting, funny episode. But we are also, I believe that we're also gonna see some other sides of Laura as well. I just cannot wait to watch this. This is gonna be awesome. Now for episode 13, it's gonna be called A Slapstick School Broadcast, Echo, a Mermaid's Song. So before we talk about the title and the summary for this episode, one thing that we know is that Aozora City is big on mermaids. They talk about mermaids a lot. There are statues of mermaids in the city. There is even a mermaid museum, or at least an exhibition of mermaids in the museum. But mermaids are big in Aozora City. And what happens in this episode is that during lunchtime in school, there is a broadcast. And in that specific episode, the topic of this broadcast is going to be mermaids. They're going to discuss mermaids, and the girls are going to listen to it, and Manatsu will give a feedback to the broadcasting club. And the girls in the broadcasting club, I don't know if they're girls. I don't know why they said that. I said this. The broadcasting club are going to be shocked because of Manatsu's feedback, because no one listens to the broadcast at all. This is like a big flop. Poor broadcasting club. So in this episode, Manatsu is going to give a feedback about the mermaid topic. And so they were very happy because of this response. And when Manatsu learns that no one listens to the broadcasting club broadcast, she is going to come up with a plan to change things up. So what I believe is going to happen, well, we know that in this episode, Laura will come into play. And we also know that Laura likes to sing, and we barely see this in the season itself. And so I believe that Laura will sing in the broadcast. This is going to be the thing in the broadcast. And I believe that also Laura will get a little angry with the topics about mermaids, because she was very angry at the exhibition in the museum in episode 4. Do you remember that? I think that this is going to play more or less like it. But I think she's gonna sing in the broadcast. They're gonna say a mermaid is singing in secret, obviously. She's gonna participate somehow. This is also interesting because we saw in episode 11 that Laura can't participate in club activities. And now in episode 13, she's gonna participate somehow, maybe even as a secret in episode 13. So Laura is being more and more integrated in the human world, and I find that very, very interesting. There is also this topic of the previous Precure that saved Aozora City, and I believe that her existence is tied to the fact that they talk a lot about mermaids in Aozora City. So this is a big, important topic to the season, and I don't think we're going to learn more about this in episode 13, but I hope we get a little bit more on this topic. I don't think they're going to touch on this right now, but if they do, it is going to be very nice. So in episode 14, we have the title, Leave It to Us, Tropical Teachers at Preschool. So what happens in this episode is another tropical club activity. The teacher of the girls suggests that they work on childcare. So they are going to be caretakers. We've already seen this in other Precure seasons, in other Magical Girls even. And the girls are going to experience this firsthand as a club activity. So it's another club activity, and something interesting is going to happen in this episode. The girls are going to interact with the children, obviously, and there is a boy in the corner of the room that is very silent and reading his book, and Sungo will pay attention to this boy, and she's going to learn more about him. She's going to know that he dreams of becoming an entomologist, and he is currently studying an illustrated book about insects. And this is going to be something that Laura will pay attention to, and she is going to praise this boy for his idea of actually knowing what he's going to become in the future, and he's already working towards his future. There are important things here. First one, another group focused activity, but a Sungo focused moment. Maybe we're going to have another batch of episodes focused on the girls, maybe starting in episode 14 with a Sungo episode, or even in episode 13 with Manatsu episode, Manatsu/Laura episode. But notice something. In episodes 12, 13, and 14, Laura comes into play in every single one of them somehow. And in this episode, she's going to notice that this little boy is already working towards his future. And I believe that this is going to spark something in Laura, and she's going to start noticing that humans also work for their own futures. They also have their own aspirations, etc. But I also think that Sungo might come into play here as well, because she's going to be the one that notices this boy, and she's going to be the one that notices this dream of his of becoming an entomologist. And this is probably going to be an important episode because of this connection that Laura will have with him. Because Laura has her own drive of becoming a queen, but she is not a human. And she's probably going to see another human with a different goal than hers, but he's already working towards his own goal, just like Laura is working towards her own goal. So she's going to see a point of connection between her, a mermaid, and a human. So I believe that this is going to come into play with Laura's character as well. And now we come to episode 15, which is going to be called Minori is Laura and Laura is Minori. Look, I cannot wait for this. I really cannot wait for this. Unfortunately, we don't have an episode summary for episode 15. But girl, I believe this is going to be everything. I don't know. We don't know if this is going to be a body switching episode, but I really hope it is. And I really like the idea of Laura and Minori, two very different characters, but they work very well together. We've already seen them working and, having their own moments, which was very interesting. And we're probably going to see this again in episode 15. I would love for them to change bodies. Laura experiencing firsthand what it's like to be a human, and Minori, the mermaid nerd, experiencing firsthand what it's like to be a mermaid. How nice would that be? Oh my god. And so, as I was mentioning, in episode 14 we have the mention of Sango, and now in episode 15 we have the mention of Minori. So maybe, as I said, we're gonna have a batch of character-centered episodes, not like heavily centered on them, just like we had a little prior to the group attack. We had one episode focused on each of the girls, but it wasn't really like a heavily focused episode on each of them. It was like they had focus, but the episode was focusing on everybody at the same time. But, you know, there was one girl that had a little bit more focus, a little bit more attention. And maybe we're going to see something like this again. Episode 14 for Sango, episode 15 for Minori, and maybe 16 for Asuka. I don't know. And maybe 17 or 13 for Manatsu. But Laura is the one that is having screen time. I mean, not screen time, because she always does, but focus in at least something around the plot of the episode in every single episode so far. Even if there isn't a body switch in episode 15, Laura is gonna be the center of the episode with Minori. We don't know why, we don't know how, but she will be. We don't need episode summaries for us to know that. So I'm very excited, and I believe that this is going to be a very interesting batch of episodes for Laura as a character. We saw a lot of her in episode 11, not a lot of her, but she didn't appear a lot. But the little she appeared, we had a lot of soul, a lot of character, and we have a lot of potential for more in terms of Laura and in terms of character. You know, we are gonna, I don't know, I just think that we're gonna have a big character-centered episode, a big character-centered batch of episodes for Laura, and we're gonna see her growth in lots of different ways, with lots of different scenarios for the plot to work with her, and that's what's making me very excited. And honestly, as I always say, Laura is an incredible character. I cannot wait for more Laura. I cannot wait. We know, right? This is a spoiler video, so let's spoil it up. We know what's gonna happen mid-season, so girl, I just can't wait for more. And I am loving the way they're working with Laura. I'm loving the way they're working with her, but not only with her, with lots of characters. All the characters so far have been worked pretty nicely in Tropical-Rouge, so I believe that they're gonna keep on doing a great job in terms of writing. They are really working it up, they're really slaying, they're really delivering in character development and interesting plots and interesting relationships between the characters. I also love the animosity between Asuka and Laura. It feels very different and fresh inside a Precure team. But at the same time, we know that they can rely on each other. We know that Asuka would never do something bad with Laura or vice versa. And, I mean, Laura is the queen, right? There's nothing more to say about that. I don't even know why I'm saying this. I'm just very excited for more Tropical-Rouge because, as I said, I think they're working very well with the characters. And I'm enjoying it a lot. So I'm sorry for this little monologue, because I'm not talking about summaries or titles anymore. So sorry about that. Anyways, guys, that's it. Which episode are you most excited for? I'm pretty excited for episode 13, which is going to contain a mermaid song. I cannot wait to hear Laura sing. If she's going to sing, I don't know. But if she's going to sing, I'm pretty sure she's going to slay. And I think that the most interesting one for me, judging by the titles, is episode 15. This episode is going to be everything and a little more. And what about you? Which one are you most excited to watch? Anyways, I just want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, I really, really appreciate your support. Really appreciate that you believe in Magical Cinnamon. Thank you so much. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. And until next time, bye-bye.